The meeting between the Ledge Group LLC is now called to order on 1/2/2017 at 11:09. Chairman Peter Brown, CEO of the Ledge. Welcome. First item in the agenda is in fact the call to order, which we have just had. The second, I'm going to run quickly through what the agenda for today is, and from there we will move forward. So again, first step was call to order of the organization and the meeting. We're going to then do an executive board introduction, so you are familiar with who the executive board is. We will then go through the corporate structure, distribution of NDAs or distribution method determined. We're going to speak about the LLC, the business model and structure. Okay. Next section, we'll move into new business. Okay, and that includes Jamaica, the administrative team. One second. That includes Jamaica, the administrative team. We're going to schedule committee meetings and questions and comments, and then finally the adjournment. Okay. All things are being recorded. That meeting minutes might be maintained and distributed at the end. So, executive board introduction. We're going to give you something of a high-level intro as it relates to who your executive board is, who we are, and kind of what we do. Okay. So I am the CEO of the Ledge Group. The Ledge Group really came together as kind of a collective to do a given thing, to grow hemp and to kind of empower each other throughout the world. And so I've been in technology for 25 years. I've been in alternative energy as long as it has been. I have been a cultivator and grower of many things for many years. And I have been seasoned as an educator and in the business world for many, many years. I would like to introduce you to our corporate compliance officer, and that is Sister Akosua. Would you introduce yourself and say some words?
Hi, good morning, family. I'm Akosua Ma'at. I'm the corporate compliance officer for the Ledge Group, and welcome everyone. My background is in law, and so I'm happy for you to be here with you all. Let's get this meeting going. Thank you, Peter.
Absolutely. I'd like to then introduce you to our executive assistant. That is Malika Jones. Each of you will become very familiar with this sister. Would you care to say a few words and greet the team, Malika?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Malika Jones. I'm the executive assistant for the Ledge Group. And my background is in coordination and organization of different companies. And at this point, we're off to an awesome start, and I just can't wait to meet everyone and get this ball rolling.
Awesome. Finally, I think we have one other executive board member on the call. That would be Brother Jelani. Brother Jelani Aiken, he is our CTO. Would you like to say some words, greet the group, and introduce yourself?
Okay, good morning, everyone. My background is in advanced web development, marketing, and maintenance, and I also have experience working with digital gold currencies as well as cryptocurrencies. So I'd like to welcome all of you today in joining our initiative.
Awesome. Very good. And we also have a number of additional board, and Lisa as well, we have as an executive board member. Please, would you say a few words, introduce yourself?
Good morning. I am the Chief Commercial Officer for the Ledge Group. My experience is in graphic design, marketing, advertising, and writing. And that's what I will be doing for this group.
Excellent. We have a number of board members that are not currently present. As time goes on, we will fold them into the various meetings, and we will get you introduced. Today we have George Haynes, who is our marketing director. We have, as well as Kendra Suddes. She is our chief chemist and an FDA compliance officer today. And so you will be introduced to the rest of the board. Yancey Johnson, who is the COO. As time goes forward, you will become familiar with the board. It is important, and we felt that it was kind of, really the next step in our move forward for us to have these meetings, to have executive board members in each meeting, to have administrative assistants in each meeting, so that we might develop a standard as it relates to how we meet, how we approve measures, how we develop project plans and milestones, how we assign those milestones, and then how we achieve those goals. So there is a model, right, to success. Right? If you want to be successful, look at the people that are successful and do what they're doing. Right? If you want to be a failure, look at the people that are doing things as a failure and do what they're doing. Right? And you'll be successful at either one of those. So what we're going to do is, what we are doing is establishing a standard. Right? You've heard speak, and we're going to jump right into the corporate structure, which is the next item on the agenda. But you're going to see that there is a standard in the way in which we conduct the meetings, the way in which we get things done, approve measures, and everything. And that standard is going to be duplicated throughout the organization. So all child LLCs, or cells we'll call them, all child LLCs will be required to do the same things: maintain meeting minutes, calls to order, and advance, right, and make progress every day. So what we're doing is we're laying the foundation. We are laying the foundation to ensure that we have some standardization throughout the full structure, okay? So the NDA is going to be distributed, and there are an awful lot of people that are on the computer. So what I'm going to do for those that are, so Oba said you can hear, just not able to speak through the headset. Okay, so you can, we can get that solved. We can get that solved pretty quickly and easily for next sessions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to send a file to those people that are on the computer. I can send a file. You will see it come up in the chat window, and you'll be able to download it in a second. Scott Thomas is sharing his screen. Okay, give me 1 second, and I'm going to send you all the NDA. Now, for those who are not on the computer, what would be helpful is if you would find the chat room and go ahead and put your email address in the chat room so that we can send the NDA to you. However, I do have a question, and I'm not sure if, Malika, if you are on the computer or on the phone.
I'm on the phone right now. I can get on the computer if you need me to.
So, yeah, well, you won't be able to collect the email addresses then, will you?
Let me see. I can try to sign on now.
So I have gone ahead and sent the non-disclosure agreement through this WebEx client. Does anybody see that?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And are you able to download that file?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. All who are unable to download that file need to put their email addresses into the room that we can distribute these NDAs to everyone. Okay? And the NDA is very standard. However, I'm going to suggest that you never sign anything before you have read it. Again, what we are doing here is we are creating a standard. And each of us is going to grow in areas that we've never thought we would. You're going to be your own CEO. Each and every one of you will be a CEO. Each and every one of you will form a board. You're going to do the things that you've never done before. And guess what? We're going to excel at them. We're going to read every document. If the only thing that has kept us from freedom has been doing the details, then today, my beloved, we will do the details. So I encourage you to read everything before you sign. If you have any questions, your executive board is wildly available to you. Please feel free to reach out, and we will happily answer any questions that you have.
Peter,
Okay.
may I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I just noticed the third page or second page is coming, so I did not see page 2 and 3. So my question's been answered. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, because are you seeing it on my screen?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay. Good. So, Malika, I don't know if you were able to capture these email addresses that are populating the room currently.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Are you able to capture the email addresses that you see populating the room right now?
Yes.
You are. Okay, good.
That wasn't Malika talking. That was another, well, it might have been another Malika talking. But no, I'm not, I don't have my laptop open, but since it's being recorded, once I review it, it should show up.
Yes, we'll save that chat so that you can see it. And I'm copying off those email addresses now as well. So, very good. Everyone that chats, if in the chat room where you there's a drop down and it says that you're chatting to me privately, send to me privately. Click that drop down and select everyone. Okay. All right. So we've captured those emails. That is communication is surrounding the NDA. Okay. The next module is to speak about the structure. Does anybody have any questions? Excuse me. As it relates to what we've covered, we're going to have an open Q&A at the end of this, and from there you can ask pretty much anything that you have. Does anybody have any questions over relative to what has been covered thus far?
I'm trying to find the chat room to give my email address.
Yep. If you go to the top of the WebEx screen, the active screen, you will see on the upper right-hand corner, I think you should see a chat icon. If you click that, the chat box will become excellent. Okay, I'm copying off email addresses feverishly.
Yeah, because I see the documents, but for some reason I can't save it from the screen right here. I would probably have to get it in the email.
Is that Brother Travis Prince?
Yes, it is. Hey,
my brother, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm about to get all this good information this morning.
Yes, sir. I got some orders in the back of my head for some of your work. So I got that chess player, and everybody try to take my picture every time they come in my house.
Man.
But we need to get some more work in there, brother. And I'm really happy to see you. Again, one of the things that I'm clearly focused on, and I want to know how it works, is a canvas made of hemp. Hemp lasts forever, right? It's better than any other fabric that we've ever used. What we don't know is, how will it take the paint? What will the paint look like? There are properties associated with using the canvases that you're used to that are going to be different using hemp, and I want to know what those are, so you're going to be integral.
I can't wait. I can't wait to I've actually looked up different companies that make hemp products, and I haven't actually seen a company that specifies in art supplies or canvases that are,
right.
hemp based. And
right.
so that could be a whole new market right there.
Oh, my brother, let me tell you something. I don't stop, and we've got thousands of models. Who is that? We need to mute Tanya. Okay, that's better. We've got thousands of products in the pipeline, brother, thousands. So we have now completed the NDA. We have email addresses in the room aplenty. I'm copying those off, and we will get only 2 pages of the NDA loaded. Is that what I see?
It's 3 pages, right? I have 3 pages.
Everybody else has 3?
Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't have 3 pages and the full NDA downloaded that you can print and sign, please put your email address in the room. Okay. Now, with board approval, I'm going to move on to the next action item, which is to discuss the LLCs. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. The LLC. So what we have built, okay, because I've seen an awful lot of questioning in regards to this. People have said, okay, well, what do I'm researching the LLC in Wyoming, and I'm researching the LLCs in these different places. What the Ledge Group LLC has done is we have paid for an LLC. We already have paid that. We are paying the maintenance fees for it. What we have is called a Series LLC. And in a Series LLC, below it, you can build infinite LLCs, infinite numbers of LLCs. They are legal, registered businesses that act just like the parent organization, but there is no connection. So legally speaking, if any of the LLCs were to be sued or fall under litigation, it wouldn't affect any of the peer LLCs or the parent LLC. So what we're doing is we're standing everyone up as a business, as a company, on their own feet. Okay? Now, in order to run your company, in order to run your LLC, you're going to have to follow suit. You're going to have to do exactly what you see us doing, calling the meeting minutes, approving measures, and meticulously moving forward along agendas. Okay? Now, the reason that we chose a Series LLC is multifaceted. Okay? But first and foremost, the limited liability, the fact that you can't be sued. If I do something wrong or my business does something wrong, it can't affect yours at all. You continue to go. So what we're looking to do is build in continuity where continuity has been stolen from us, yes? So we're building continuity with this LLC. Perpetually, each of your businesses will run forever, okay? Now, the other thing that was huge in factoring in, and I would hope that everybody has downloaded, and I'll share again in the room, PDF as it relates to your President-elect Donald Trump and his business practices, okay? What Donald Trump does is he has a Series LLC. Imagine that, right? And with that Series LLC, what he has done is he has constructed an organization in which one business does business with the other business. They depreciate the things that they sell each other. They, based on where they're doing business, so if he transacts the business in Nevada, there's no state taxes, so what he's doing is he's using very creative and intelligent methods of minimizing his tax burden, but also obscuring where his money lives, okay? So this is why today when people ask him for his taxes, they can't be produced, right? They can't be produced. Now, he's really, really secretive, okay? What he's doing is, it's legal, right? But he's very secretive. That's not what we intend to do. We intend to be 100% above the board. What we're doing is a model that has not been done before, but it is 100% legal. It's simply that no one's thought about it in this method. Nobody's thought of a way to use it this way. What we are going to do, and what we've described already, is stand up each and every one of you as a business. Each and every one of you as a business. We're not going to discuss products and the things that we have in the pipeline and the business models that we have in the pipeline for you. until we have those NDAs back. That is corporate assets, right? The things that we would tell you as it relates to business model are, in fact, corporate assets. When we deliver those, they'll be basically put up on a board, and anyone who chooses one of those models, you choose it, you flush it out, you determine what you need to get, you turn back to the Ledge Group, we determine the appropriate cost, we get it there, and we build your business, okay? And so the LLC model allows us to build something very similar to the Great Pyramid, but each one of these bricks is not load-bearing. We distribute the load. We distribute the load. So again, we need a CPA. We need a CPA and an accounting firm to do the taxes for each and every one of our LLCs uniformly. So guess what we do? We stand up an LLC, and that LLC will be an accounting firm. And guess what? That accounting firm can count on 100 accounts of people where they need their corporate taxes done. They're going to give us a break because they're our sister organization on what they charge us, but each one of us is going to pay them X amount per year. They're going to do our taxes. Well, guess what we did? We just created a viable accounting firm. Even if they don't ever get another client, they're still going to be able to move forward, right? So this is the model. Everything that we need, we cultivate within ourselves. We create a new LLC, we stand that person up, and that person serves that function, okay? And so this is the structure, and if you could see it in any kind of in a visual capacity, it is exactly like a pyramid. It is exactly like a pyramid. Up at the top sits the parent organization. Okay. Below the parent organization, you have a managing body. Okay, and you have an executive body. Below that falls every single LLC: attorneys, CPAs, people making bricks, people making oils, people making soaps and lotions, people making all of these different products. It's up to you. People making canvases for their art. It doesn't matter. It is completely up to you. You research the product out of hemp. You determine what you want to do and report that back to your group. Fine-tune that, right? Because you're going to build your own board. You fine-tune that, and then when you're ready, you present it, and we move forward. And so that really, in a nutshell, kind of describes what the LLC, what this model really is. Are there any questions as it relates to a series LLC, kind of why we decided to go that way and the benefits of it?
No, it sounds
absolutely. It's a pyramid based on the principles of Mayat. Based on the principles of Mayat. Okay, it's a very different. When we speak pyramid, generally speaking, we are using a Eurocentric lens by which to define something that was great and old. And today we have a connotation associated with a pyramid that is mysterious, that is, and when we talk about financial terms, it's negative, right? Whenever we talk about pyramid in America contemporarily, it is a negative thing. But every pyramid that I've ever built has been absolutely amazing. One that I have is Echo Training. And in Echo Training, I was the top trainer, and I taught everybody what I knew. And each person below, each brick or cell within that pyramid then began to teach the people below them. They then began to teach the people below them. And now we have a pyramid of people who are all skilled, all trained, and each training each other. So that's not a negative pyramid, is it? That is a pyramid where people are empowering each other, teaching each other, and changing their own fate. So the African model of a pyramid, right, based on the principles of Mayat, is a totally different animal than what we are used to in the contemporary European construct. Very, very different. We're building a pyramid, and we're going to, you know, each kind of point segues to the next. We're building a pyramid of empowerment. Okay, we're building a pyramid of empowerment where everybody shares, where everybody grows, and everybody has a share in what we're doing, right? So there's a great question. Andre asked, how does the Series LLC correlate with the asset trust? Is it one of the same, or did we migrate that model? Great question, Andre. Man, 2 days, bruh. We're in Jamaica. Okay. Here is the answer to that. Initially, and if you look at some of the old posts throughout the group, you will see mention of an asset trust. It was what we were about to pull the trigger on, okay? An asset trust is an amazing thing. What it does is it shields all of your assets from any entity. The IRS can't touch it. Nobody can touch your things, okay? So we investigated that. We were going to pull the trigger on that. What I learned in kind of investigating that is that that's not the first step. The first step is to have a Series LLC. The Series LLC protects all business assets. It protects everything that you're doing in business, okay? There is a limited liability. There is a limited amount that anybody could ever sue you for, okay? So the first thing was to establish that Series LLC. Phase 2 is to establish the asset trust and put the Series LLC as an asset into that trust. Now, the reason that you do this and the reason that you build it in this model is because if you have an asset trust and you go to do some business with somebody and you share with them your trust license, non-charity or whatever it is, they don't want to do business with you because they know that if anything ever happens, they can never win because you have an asset trust. So the asset trust sitting at the front is an inhibitor. People don't want to do business with you. They're afraid of that asset trust, okay? But having the Series LLC as the front face and the asset trust up at the level of the parent organization obscures the amount of protection that you have at your business level, and it ensures that your LLC couldn't be attached by the IRS or any god or government, okay? So it is a model of obscuring, right? You don't want to put out the fact that if you got your biggest, baddest guards standing at your gate, well, all somebody's got to do is study long enough at their weaknesses, at their strengths, and the things that they do, and eventually they can pick those guards off and move in. So you don't put your biggest, baddest guards or your defenses at the gate, right? You put something very small out there. You put something very small out there and draw them in. Does that make sense? Any questions as it relates to the Series trust and the asset trust? No. Now there's another component to that. And that final component is individual. It's personal. Each and every one of you should do it. And again, this is why I say that we're going to grow together. Okay? We're going to grow together. We're going to do things that we've never done before in the name of protecting assets, in the name of building continuity, and in the name of growing, right, as a people. The last thing that we're going to suggest is that everybody gets a living will. Get a living will. You wrap all of this up, the Series LLC, the asset trust, you wrap it all up with a tiny neat bow when you have a living will. What it does is it ensures that 70% of your assets do not go to probate. Right now, Prince passed away. He didn't have a living will. It doesn't matter how wealthy he was. It doesn't matter how many family members he has. If there was even one heir left behind, 70% of his wealth would go to probate because that is the court that's going to decide how that is allocated. They're going to determine which of his bills were in arrears, everything. So the court automatically, if you pass away right now, this moment, and you don't have a living will, 70% of everything that you have ever owned will go to the courts. So the living will is the lock. That puts a lock on everything that you've ever owned, okay? And we would be remiss if we went to build this foundation and build this thing and left you in a position where you could potentially lose anything. We want to ensure that everything that you have ever put your hands on, and anything that you will put your hands on into the future remains in your children's hands infinitely. And that is what we are building. That is what this is all about. Okay? So 3 steps. Series LLC, we already took that hill. We are here as a family together. Okay? We already took that hill. Now we build out the structure. The next step after that is the asset trust to ensure that nobody can ever touch anything that we ever build. Okay? And then the final step is individually, each of you get a living will. Okay? And a living will and a living trust can be the same thing. It's a matter of the verbiage. Okay? Right now, we're dealing with a financial group, and they've got an awful lot of really great services. Really great services. They're prepared to help each and every one of us out with our living wills, and we'll get discounts based on being a group. They'll help us do everything, right? They'll do our taxes, they'll do everything. It's wonderful, and they've got a virtual office so that each and every one of our LLCs will have 9 to 5 phone coverage, where if somebody calls into your LLC, they say, I'm looking for Travis Prince Enterprises, then that's who's going to answer the phone. Travis Prince Enterprises, how can I help you, right? So they've got a virtual office where they will catch our packages and send them out where they need to. They've got a host of phenomenal services, and I really, really love them. Guess how much I don't love them? I don't love them so much that I'm not actively working on replacing them. I'm going to cultivate in my people those very same services, okay? There are no taxes in Nevada. The question from Andre, why did we choose to incorporate in Nevada as opposed to other states? What are the advantages? No taxes in Nevada, and the business latitude, the latitude that one has in business and in your Series LLC and the liability is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. There's only a few states that are allowing this kind of LLC or business model. Again, in a very loose way, I'm following behind Donald Trump. Now, I say in a loose way because I don't want to get none on me, you know. But very loosely, we're following that model. Okay? You don't need to set up an LLC at all. Yasmin, when you've got your NDA signed and turned back in, okay? Yeah. You're going to join in the committee meetings, right? You're going to join onto a committee. And in those committees, again, everything is going to filter just like a corporation. You all will do in your committee meetings exactly what we're doing up at the top level, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to disseminate those various business models, and we're going to talk amongst ourselves, and we're going to determine what makes sense in our given areas as it relates to business models. And you're going to determine exactly what you want to do, right? What do you want to do? What do you want to produce? You will determine that. You'll come up with your plan. We will give you models. You'll come up with your business plan. You'll come up with the structure. And from there, we'll submit the paperwork for your LLC. Done. 24 hours later, you have your LLC. We can grant LLCs right this minute. We are free to grant LLCs to each and every one of you right this minute. We want to make sure that each and every one of us succeeds. Each and every one of us succeeds, okay? So now, are there any other questions relative to the trusts, kind of the direction that we're going to in this regard? Did I answer all questions sufficiently?
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, Chan here. How are you today, Peter? Everyone else?
Excellent. Yourself?
My question was, hold on, I wrote it down. Oh, okay. When the child LLC, like, incorporates, will we be incorporated in Nevada as well? Or, like, say, for instance, we live in a state like mine that doesn't have series LLCs. How would that work?
What you do is so the way that works is that state wants to take, some taxes from you, and that's all it's about. So what you have to do is you have to register your Series LLC in that state. It's registered in Nevada, but you can do business as that LLC any state that you are. Some of those states you can do it for $20, $30, and some of them a little more. Like in Massachusetts, mine is a couple $100, right? But in like Georgia and like that, $30, $50, and you can set up that LLC in your state and legally operate.
You want it up a little bit? Or put the headphones on. That's what you need to do.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Peter.
Absolutely. Delaware has different benefits than Renard asked. Who's that? Can I get everybody to mute? Renard asked, how does Delaware stack up to Nevada for corporate business? They both have their benefits, right? Delaware is using the fact that it's so close in proximity to Washington, D.C. Absolutely have their benefits. The latitude associated with Nevada, so the Series LLC, and Nevada's rolling this out, is relatively new, okay? It's relatively new. And the latitude that we have with it is beyond. You can't set up a Series LLC into Delaware. The latitude that it gives us. So, again, what I want to do is I want to kind of highlight to you how very valuable it is for you to have an LLC. Okay?
I have a quick
how
question.
Very valuable and what you can do. Your LLC will allow you to no longer have to use your Social Security number, right? You can turn your EIN, your Employee Identification Number, into a TIN, which is a tax identification number, and restore your right to carry weapons if you should have been a felon.
I have a quick question.
The amount that you can do.
Whoa, Peter. Say that one more time.
I have a question.
Okay. Your EIN.
Okay. You can't hear
when you have an LLC.
Did you hit the unmute? I did.
So when you have an LLC.
Peter, I have a quick question.
Okay, let me answer the first one that just came.
Okay. My quick question is going back to being a Series LLC under the program you're describing. If we're in Maryland and we're organized in Delaware under the Series LLC, is it considered to be the foreign qualification process with the state of Maryland? Is that what we would have to file, the XRL for Maryland as a foreign entity?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, that was it. Thank you.
Okay. So the question, Travis, and I kind of blew everybody's mind real quick, and we don't want to stay too long on this, but having, yeah, we can do more of the questions. So I'll speak more about that in the Q&A. What we want to do is we want to kind of stick to the agenda, which is in fact the Series LLC and like that. So just quickly, but I will get back to that, Travis.
Okay.
We will be using our county clerk's office to set up the DBA and then register with the state you are doing business in. Correct. That is correct. Okay. Can we speak with the ledge person now for those of us setting up our living trust, or should we wait till we break up into committees? I think that's not a problem, Yasmin. Now, actually, yeah, you're going to need to be an LLC because they're not going to want to talk to you just as a person off of the street, right? So you're going to need to be affiliated. So let's get into committees, and then we will move forward on making sure that everybody gets that living will, okay? When you set up our LLC as a subsidiary of the Series LLC, does the Series LLC take an equity position in our LLC? No, you are completely autonomous. You are your own business. Now, there is a percentage, obviously. Why does that percentage come into place? Why does the ledge get a piece, right? Because the ledge is going to put equipment. The ledge is going to invest in you. You got 10 acres of land. You got nothing to do with that land. We're going to put equipment on that land, right? We're going to put the equipment on that land. We're going to give you the training. We're going to potentially provide you the seed that you're going to need. We're going to provide you all of those things in order to be successful so the ledge takes a piece. Furthermore, all of these things that we're speaking about really are some of the benefits associated with having a business. The ability for you to open up an LLC is more valuable than I could even describe to you in this 1 hour and a half. It is more valuable than I can even describe. Furthermore, we've got an awful lot that is planned relative to the ease of your setting up your businesses. Can I set up a DBA in states I don't reside in? I travel between a couple states. This is the thing about that. Eldrick. You need to have a bank account, okay? And the only way that you're going to open up a bank account in a given state is if you have a residence address, okay? That's the thing about that going into the different states. The piece is very simple. And again, there are going to be deviations, there's going to be modifications to this, but the piece is very simple as it relates to it. So when we talk about something that's got 10 acres of land, and they don't have a plan, they don't have anything to do, okay. We're going to put $20,000, $30,000 worth of equipment on that land. We're going to give them the training. We're going to build a facility to secure our equipment. We're going to ensure that they are able, day one, to be able to begin to produce. Based on what it is that we're doing, we're taking 51. Ledge takes 51% of all. That person keeps 49. Okay. Again, there are variances in this based on the fact that there could be different elements associated with the arrangement, right? There could be different elements associated with that arrangement, and as a result of that, that's not a, you know, that's the basic model. That is the basic model. Okay, that's how the piece is accommodated. All right. Are there any other questions relative to the LLCs? 5149, correct.
I have a question.
Yes.
I didn't understand that last part. You said if you have a series LLC,
yep,
that the whole group as a group owns a percentage?
No. Your series, your LLC is your LLC. Okay, your LLC is your LLC. It depends on how what the business model is. The 5149 is a profit split. 5149 is a profit split. Okay. Now, again, most commonly here, who we're speaking to is landowners. When we're moving across this world right now, we're talking to people that have land. And so as it relates to someone that has land, that's exactly how that profit split is going to go. 5149 all the way. We're going to put the equipment, we're going to move it anywhere on the planet Earth if we need to. We're going to set them up with business. We're going to provide for them jobs. We're going to provide for them all of these different things. Yeah, we're going to reserve that. Okay.
Okay. Does creating a personal LLC, does that give us a corporate identity, or do we create a corporate person?
You can create that corporate person, and you can do a lot more than that. And we're going to get into that because this kind of more speaks to how to manage it, right? Once you got it, how do you manage it and keep it? Mm-hmm. So yes, what we're going to do is we're going to have a plethora of various consultancy services available to each and every single LLC so that we can get everybody to that same place. How do you start a charitable foundation for yourself? So, Travis, you could start a charitable foundation for the arts, right? To benefit the arts in your local area. And guess what? You can do fundraisers, and you can collect money nationwide, worldwide, right? Does Susan G. Komen, all that is a charitable foundation. It costs them less than $1,000 to set up. But they can take donations across the planet Earth in a tax-free, tax-deductible capacity. We're going to teach you how to set all of that up for yourself. Okay? So included in every single thing that we're doing is value add. We're going to make you stronger. Look, the stronger you are, the stronger we are. You're successful, we're successful. Right? This is how it works.
Will there be an opportunity for us to invest in the parent company?
To invest in the parent company. You will form you'll form your own, right? You're going to form your own. All the parent company is is the group that said, hey, you know what? There was a puzzle on the floor, and we looked at those puzzle pieces and said, whoa, you know what? This fits together. And if we do this and that, then we put in place a structure that allows us to do X. So what the parent company is an umbrella. It's a shield. It's the overarching shield that ensures that none of us can ever come down. So if one of you should fall, if somebody's business doesn't go right, guess what we do? We chew off our arm and we grow another arm. We set you up in another area and you keep doing business. You understand? So what the parent organization is that protective layer going over everything. Okay? That's a good question. Does the LEDs plan to have stocks in the future that the founding child LLCs can own a bit of? My guess is, and we've spoken about this on a high level, I don't think we're going to be able to avoid it. I think one day we're going to have to go public. And when we do, that's exactly what has to happen. We filter down the ownership of the organization, of the public organization through the LLCs and the executive board members, and we ensure that we, as a people, maintain controlling interest.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we make available X amount of shares on the public market. But yeah, that's definitely something on the radar, because the truth is, it's going to happen. There's going to be a place where it has to happen. And many corporations, I don't know how many of you have been in the corporate America, but many corporations really struggle with that. When to grow, right? When to take that next step, right? Any other questions relative to the LLC and kind of the structure? Okay, and executive board, do I have a second relative to moving on to new business?
Second the motion.
Excellent. Okay, new business. We're flying to Jamaica in 2 days. Okay. Now, what I'm not going to do until we have the NDAs in place is kind of go through the particulars of what it is that we're going to do. I can say at a high level, we've been offered an awful lot of land in a place that is, I mean, for lack of a better description, magical, right? Magical. There's never been any colonial power over these people. Not France, not Britain, not Spain. And these people on that place right there, never. Never. Okay, these are free people. The land that we're going to has not had a crime in 275 years. Not one crime. Now, that is definitely bolstered by the fact that they don't have any law. So without laws, it's hard to have a crime. But there is also no taxes, right? So we're going to a magical land. There are a number of indigenous products that they have that that have really not hit mainstream, and that's based on basically the European world not wanting to legitimize Jamaica, right? Jamaica's got an awful lot of resources, but the European world doesn't want Jamaica on a world stage to be a geopolitical player, right? If they go in there and they improve their roads and they improve their bridges and improve their infrastructure, right? If they build the factories and they increase the standard of living of those people in Jamaica, suddenly they become a threat on a global scale, economically speaking, as well as politically speaking. So this has been the method of operandi throughout the world. It is to underdevelop these countries, to underdevelop Haiti, underdevelop Africa, in order to be able to exploit them for their resources. So here's a new day. Here is a new day. Here we have Africans coming over there, and I have no intention of exploiting them. I say to you, I have brought gifts that I will present to the, oh, wow, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his title, and I will have it written on paper when I go so that I can speak to him. But what I'm going to do is I'm bringing him some gifts, a small bag, a token, And in this bag that I've brought, I'm going to give him the same things that were brought to the king in the Bible. I'm going to bring him some frankincense and some myrrh and some amber, and I'm going to bring him some things to let him know that he's dealing with his brother. Okay? This is a different type of people. Okay? And we're coming to strike a different kind of deal with our own people. With our own people. Okay? So we're coming into Jamaica in a different position or different stance than anyone ever has. Okay? They have gone into Jamaica, they have gone into Africa like vultures. That is not how we're going. We are going in humbly, and we are saying we don't have to change the way that you live. We have no desire to do that. What we want to do is we want to ensure that not only you profit, but we profit, and we build industry. At the end of the day, it's very simple. We have a product, we have a plant that can create food, clothing, and shelter. At the end of the day, that's just what we're going to make it do. That is just what we're going to make it do. Produce for us food, clothing, and shelter across the planet Earth. Let me tell you, even in the remote possibility that we are not profitable, guess what? You won't have to buy toilet paper from anyone else anymore. You won't buy socks from anyone else anymore. You won't buy shirts or clothes, and you won't buy dietary supplements. You won't buy animal feed. You won't buy cars. You won't buy planes. You won't buy anything from anyone else because we will be developing them ourselves. Okay? So the worst case scenario, the very worst and remote possible scenario that we are not profitable. Now let me back up a little bit. We can take this hemp right now. You got an acre of land wherever you are, where it's legal. You can grow hemp, and there's a market for you to sell that raw hemp right here, right now. They'll buy it from you. They will buy it from you. Absolutely. I'm speaking with people in Jamaica right now that are doing just that. They're selling it. They're not processing it. They're not using it. Okay? So they're making somebody else strong. They're making somebody else rich. What we intend to do is we intend to distribute that wealth. The people in Jamaica are going to benefit personally from what we do. We are going to benefit personally from what we do. Okay? So, again, this is a model that has never been seen before. No one has ever done this before. We are not going anywhere on the planet Earth asking for anything. We are going and offering. And offering. Here is what we do. Okay? So Jamaica, there are, when we look at the hemp plant and the way it works, there are, with every harvest, there are generally 4 to 5 products that you can come away from. Okay? Generally speaking, there are 4 to 5 products with each harvest. Okay? Canada is currently the #1 worldwide distributor of seeds and hemp. And Canada has only one grow season. Based on where they are and their climate, they have one harvest season per year, and they dominate the global market with one harvest season a year. We have, can I get everybody to mute their microphones, please?
Really fucking.
Everybody mute their mics.
Like as far as plans and this whole getting the fuck out of this fuckery that we call life.
Okay. So, Kenya has 53,000 acres available to us. These 53,000 acres are sitting on land in which the person that has access to them, if he is left alone for 20 years, it will still be 53,000 acres of land just sitting there. It'll do nothing. He can't do anything with it. Okay? With that in mind, we can. 80% of the fiber in Kenya is imported from China. 80%. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up shop in Kenya. Okay? We're not going to use 52,000 acres immediately. we're going to take a small amount, and we're going to grow our hemp, we're going to produce our products, and we're going to distribute internally. We're not sending that out yet. Not until we've got a foothold in Kenya. Not until we've bitten into that 70% that they're taking from, that they're importing from China. And once we do that, see, right now in Africa, young brothers and sisters are looking to get out. You understand? They're trying to get out of the continent. They don't have opportunity. They don't have jobs. They don't want to stay. Okay? Well, guess what happens? Guess what happens when the indigenous and rightful owners get out? Well, guess what happens when they get out? Somebody else goes in. You understand? Somebody else goes in. So we stem the tide by providing opportunity for them right where they are. They will have jobs. They will increase their standard of living, and at the same time, we will be a stable organization turning profit. Okay? And I went a little far. I went to Kenya. I was supposed to stay in Jamaica, but that kind of speaks to the new business. Are there any questions related to, you know, short-term, where we're going, what we're looking at? I intentionally didn't speak about any products. Again, we need those NDAs to be back by the time I get here from Jamaica. What I would like to do is share with you the very nitty-gritty details of what it is that we are doing. Okay? I cannot do that because that is corporate capital, company capital, right? I cannot share with you the minute details of what it is that we are doing until we've got those NDAs in place. So please make every effort to get those NDAs signed and sent back as soon as possible. Okay? Those should be returned by the time I come back from Jamaica. Okay? Some people on telephones can't actually mute. And depending on the connecting type, they can't actually mute. So I've been going through and taking care of that. Executive Board, we are ready to move forward from Jamaica to administrative teams. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second.
Excellent. Okay. There was a question. I'm sorry, I'm going to step back. So if not importing product yet, and we have to wait for first harvest, how long before we can expect an import of processed hemp? Can we send digital copies of the NDA, or does it have to be a hard copy? Nope, we can send digital copies. That's fine. Print it out, sign it, scan it, and email it back in. That's fine. So that was a great question. Let me see who was that asked. Yasmin. That's a good question. So if not importing product yet, and we have to wait for first harvest, how long before we can expect an import of processed hemp? Well, now, that was a very interesting way of your phrasing that, processed hemp. While we're doing business in Jamaica, see, what's going to happen is Jamaica is going to immediately start turning profit, day one. We put equipment there, we begin to start turning a profit, okay? When that happens, what we intend to do, again, kind of a timetable, I come back from Jamaica, we got a deal, we're moving forward, 90 days later, 120 days later, we've got product, okay? We start to turn a profit. The next thing, once we turn a profit, the next thing that we do is we cultivate some of the business models that we've got on standby right here in America, right here in America. So what we're going to do is, and kind of the model currently, and a loose breakdown is, consumable products will be produced outside of America. So we don't have to deal with the FDA at all. All consumable products will be produced outside of America. And when they finally get their act together, we may come back with some consumables. But instead of that, what we're going to do in America is we're going to have you make toilet paper. And we're going to have someone else make textiles. And we're going to have somebody else make paper plates, right? And each and every one of us is going to be processing different products here in America, okay? So domestically, we're going to be generating our own product. Can everybody else hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Scott said he can't hear. Jelani, can you give Scott some instructions as it relates to how to get his audio configured? Have him leave the meeting and come back in, and he'll get his audio back. So, I'm sorry, where was I? What was that question last? The domestic products. So, it is not necessarily so that we do not have domestic products running in tandem. While we're doing Kenya and while we're doing Jamaica, what we're doing is we're generating revenue. Okay, we're generating revenue. That revenue allows us to go ahead and invest in the domestic operations. You understand? What do you suggest for those that live in states where hemp is not legal but can be grown for research? My first business was Echo Training, an educational institution. So we can do some research. Furthermore, hemp doesn't necessarily need to be legal, right? We've got thousands of peripheral models that can be deployed based on currently where we are. So if hemp is not legal, what we have is medicinal marijuana legislation that's hitting the books pretty much everywhere. We have recreational marijuana legislation that's hitting the books pretty much everywhere. So while hemp may not be the way to go right now in your given area, there is something, okay? There is something. And we've got models to accommodate those various areas, okay? At the end of the day, we're knee-deep in sticky THC and CBDs, okay? We are in the hemp game. And all strains and elements of it, we're in that, okay? So that was the new business, okay? We'd already taken, we've already approved the ability to move on. The next section is the administrative team. So the processing machinery can be placed here first. I just called in, so I'm on both. So the processing machinery can be placed, absolutely, absolutely. Research, what do you want to do? What do you like? What do you want your family business to be in? Research, what do you want to build? What do you want to make? Fabrics, right? Paper, pellet mill? Oh my God, wait a minute. I'm gonna end up buying one for myself because I want my my apple wood, because I do a lot of smoking. My apple wood, my cherry wood, my mesquites, I want to press those with the hemp because the hemp burns with less ash, it burns cleaner, it burns longer, and I can put my my various smoking woods in those pellets and use that. Woo! You know what? You know how I am. I'm going to show you my meat on on the grill. That's when you're going to know it's real, when I show you my meat smoked down. Okay. You asked, can I recommend one, what, pellet? Pelletizer?
Yes, yes.
I put a few in the room, and someone, yes, my apologies. And some people have followed up and added additional pelletizers in the room. We will, in fact, continue to put those in front of you so you can see kind of the model. We are definitely going to grab one of those for our endeavors shortly, okay? But we've got to move on. We've got less than a half an hour left, and I need to wrap this up. We have got the administrative team as the next module. Malika, did you want to jump in and speak to administrative teams and kind of the go forward?
Okay, sure. Once again, my name is Malika Jones, and I'm the executive assistant for the LEDGE Group. Currently, I serve as the chair on the administrative team. And our team is very important. We're like the glue that's going to hold everything together. As you can see, there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of documents that need to be signed. Most importantly, in terms of the research committees, we need someone to take minutes at every single committee meeting. Currently, we have about 8 admins, but we have about 15 different committees. So we're in need of approximately 8 more admins. And the duty would be to sit in on these meetings, take the minutes. The minutes will be recorded, so basically at a later date you can listen to the minutes, listen to the meeting, document it in a form of meeting minutes, and then submit it back to me so that I can submit it back to the board so that we're all on the same page. What else? And once we actually have a full admin team, we can move forward with scheduling committee meetings, which segues into the next area. But as far as the administrative team, we just need a group of people that are committed to sitting in on the meetings once a week, maybe about an hour and a half, and just take minutes at this point. So I'm still in need of about 8 more people. If anyone is interested, please email me at hempinitiative@gmail.com. That's HEMPINIATIVE@gmail.com. And you can just leave me, just say, you know, I want to be part of the admin team, and I'll schedule a meeting. Hopefully, Jamaica's on Wednesday. Probably at the end of next week when we return. And then we can just move forward once we have one more admin meeting. We can get everyone in place. I can say, you know, I can delegate who's on each committee, and on each committee we will have an executive board member to chair it so that things are running the way that we run our meetings with the executive board, and it's all about just duplication. Peter, if you have anything else to add, but pretty much I think that's it for the administrative team.
That is awesome. That sums up the administrative component.
Do we have any questions?
You guys are being very, very thorough.
Thank you. Okay, Peter, we can move forward if there's no questions.
No, you guys are being very, very thorough.
There's a question in the chat room from Yasmin.
I tried to download the, so that was as it relates to Dragon Naturally Speaking currently. We've not used Dragon. I've got it downloaded. I think Malika's got it downloaded. I don't know whether or not she's currently using it. It is a great tool. It requires an expenditure of time. You've got to train it to be able to use your voice and understand your voice, and then it can be very usable. Really the way you'd want to do it is play the meeting while Dragon was running and transcribing the minutes from that meeting. Now, you will see as you get into the administrative teams that Malika has developed a format as it relates to meeting minutes. That's really, really great. That format, understand the importance of these meeting minutes. They go into your binder. These things are required in order for us to be legitimate LLCs. There are certain things that we have to do. So this structure and kind of the things that you see us doing here in this exercise is actually very important, okay? And we need to infect you with that same model. You've got to do what we're doing. So the Dragon Naturally Speaking can be a very helpful tool. I don't think Malika is currently using it.
I'm still working on it. You really do have to take some time just to understand how to use it and train it so that it recognizes your voice. So I'm still working with it, and eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to just do exactly what Peter said with Dragon Naturally Speaking.
Okay. We want to suggest everybody get a mega storage drive. So what mega storage does is it allows you to store very much like a Google Drive, but it's got 50 gigabytes of free space. And that will allow us to keep assets, share assets among us, and kind of have a repository where we can always access. Okay, so mega storage is a great solution. We're using it as a group, and as we move along, what we're going to do is we're going to share these free tools that help us get to where we need to as an entity. Okay? And so now, really at this point, we are concluded with the agenda, and the session, the component that we are is in the questions and comments. So at this point, it is open. Any questions at all relative to what we have covered, maybe what we have not covered. Those things that, again, are protected items will be disseminated when the NDA is in place. But outside of that, we're open to anything. Completely transparent. You may ask anything that you care to. If you need e-sign instructions, okay? If you need e-sign instructions relative to the NDA, please feel free to email Malika at Hemp Initiative, and she'll get that to you, okay? How soon will we have the NDAs from email? We'll email those NDAs out. Malika, do you have an ETA as it relates to when we'll send those out? I assume those are going to come from you.
Hopefully within the next 24 hours.
Excellent. Excellent. Any other questions? We are already on the way, my brother. On specific varieties and expected yields. Again, the interesting thing is, and you know this perhaps better than anyone, conditions are going to dictate yields, there's so many variables. You know this. Optimally, it says that 1 acre of land can grow 7 tons of hemp. 1 acre of land can grow 7 tons of hemp. Now, we need to qualify that, right? Your car, you might have a car that says it gets 50 miles per gallon. And you know what? They're not lying. But when they say 50 miles per gallon, that means in an absolutely perfect environment, perfect tire inflation, a certain amount of weight within the driver's seat and passenger seat, it assumes absolutely perfect conditions. And if you simulate those conditions, then you'll get that 50 miles per hour. But guess what? You get that car on the street, you will never see those conditions again, and you will never see that 50 miles per gallon. So with that in mind, yes, theoretically, 1 acre produces 7 tons. I don't expect that that's going to be our first harvest. Our first harvest, we're going to be teaching people how to grow hemp, how to row that hemp, how much space is needed in between them, how to keep their feet from being wet, right? So there's going to be a learning curve. Now, hemp will grow. If you throw hemp on a moist carpet in your basement, it will grow, no matter what. It'll grow in anything. It's a weed, right? But what we're looking for is optimal growth, okay? And again, there's some things that are corporate capital that I won't share here, but as we get closer, and as I return from Jamaica and you got your NDAs in place, I will be able to share with you some of the endeavors and undertakings that we have going on to do some insurances surrounding those yields, right? And when we say varieties, there are some different varieties, and those are going to give us some diversity as it relates to some of the products that will come from it, okay? Mega storage is free. It is cloud storage. Malika's address is in the room. Excellent. Are there any other? Yes.
Yes, this is Malika again. Can I suggest that anyone that actually needs a copy of the NDA emailed to them to email me at that email address, the Hemp Initiative address, and then I can send it to them.
Yeah, that makes some sense. That's a great question.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Peter.
That was a great question. If we are creating a product and selling it as a child LLC, do we split profits with the parent LLC? Let me think about that. If we're creating a product and selling it as a child LLC, if you're creating a product, that assumes that you have land and you have equipment on that land. That equipment has been provided by way of the parent LLC. So yes, there will be a profit split.
That was my question. No, if we're Say using hemp oil in a product, so we're not really selling it and growing it, but we're using hemp oil and selling a product that contains hemp oil. So there would be no equipment to be brought in.
Right. So you're talking just straight distributor.
Yeah. Producing, if I'm producing a product and selling it.
They're going to be doing
so what we're going to do in that case is you're going to be a distributor. Let me get everybody to mute. Who's that? Scott? Scott, can I get you to mute? So what we're going to do is we're going to produce that oil in bulk. And if you want hemp oil to make lotions, then we sell that to you at wholesale, right? At a diminished cost, and you go ahead and make whatever products. You make your soap, you make your everything, okay? And you brand that in whatever brand you want and throw it in any stores that you want. That's yours.
Okay.
We don't take a piece of that.
Okay.
Malika, can I get that email address again? I didn't write it down the first time.
Sure. It's HEMTIIATIVE@gmail.com.
And somebody asked a question. I want to be respectful of time.
Okay.
I want to be respectful of the time. It's 12:25. We need to call the meeting at promptly our time. So somebody asked a question, can you clear up the $400 fee? There is no $400 fee. It is an investment. What you will get for your $400 is the ability to open up an LLC. If you have land in America or in the United States or in the world anywhere, when you open up your LLC, that LLC can be related to actually producing products where you will grow hemp on that land, we will put equipment on that land, and we will make business. If you don't have land, then what you're buying into is the ability to wholesale all of the products that are created by the Ledge Group. So you're going to be the only people selling these products. Yeah. Okay? And there's a couple of different models, but again, it is not a $400 fee. It is a $400 value-added investment. We're going to get you your LLC. You're going to learn the structure. We've got web services. We've got tax services. We've got everything set up for you to be able to simply step in and build a business that your family will own forever. And now, I say the word business, but I don't want to confuse it because it's not business, it's industry. You see, if this project grows, right? If this project grows, you have an LLC. Get the land and put it under it, right? Get some land, put your LLC. When you start your LLC, that's going to be the property associated with it, and it's a part of your business, okay? Industry. At the end of the day, we are building industry. If 100% of us, if I could reach 100% of Africans on this planet Earth and convince them to grow 1 acre of hemp, right? Guess what? We are a world power. There is no one on the earth that could compete with us. So the more land, the more people involved, the more people growing hemp, the more LLCs are formed, the more stable we are, the more services we provide to each other, the more we're circulating money between each other, the more we're making our own industries solvent. Okay? So when you say access to funding to purchase land, the truth is the Ledge doesn't want to own land. We're not looking to own any land. Again, Uber is the biggest ride-sharing organization in the world, and they don't own 1 car. I don't want to own land. I want you to have your land. I want that land to be yours. And on your land, you're going to determine how much hemp to grow on it. And what we'll do is we'll put facility. You got hemp, we got a machine, and we'll allow you to be able to make textiles, or you'll be able to make sneakers, or you'll be able to make whatever it is that you choose, okay? But we don't want to own land. We want you to, okay? It is now 12:28. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjourn the meeting if I have a second from the executive board.
Second.
Thank you. The Ledge meeting is now adjourned on 1/2/2017 at 12:28. Thank you very much. So, recording has ended. So, I would like to say, and so we call the meeting to a close simply so that we stop the recording and the minutes have ended. Okay? So we are actually still recording. Where is my recorder? Okay. And so we stop the recording